Hey guys, Dwayne here, and I thought I'd take a stab at this whole thread thing. So I gave it some thought, and over the past week I've been spinning a lot of vinyl, and one thing I found myself doing was playing the album without looking and trying to remember exactly what year it was that album came out. Now most of them I have pretty well memorized, but there were a few where I choose the year and then I flip it over and look and it was like, oh, I was off by a year. Sometimes two. But so it kind of got me thinking, and what I thought of was I am going to call this Remember the 80s. And it's going to be a thread focused on the 80s from 1980 to 1989, okay? And the reason for this is because it also got me thinking, you know, for me, now this is all my opinion, so the 80s, I would say, was probably the most important decade for music. Now hear me out. The reason for this is, okay, the 50s was the birth of rock and roll, the 60s psychedelia, and psych and things like that, bled over into the 70s, as well as, you know, your classic rock, the birth of heavy metal, things like that in the 70s. Well, the 80s, with the broadcasting of MTV and all of the genres that got public focus, I guess, and there were a lot of subgenres that branched off of other genres that were born in the 80s. You know, for example, you know, heavy metal. You had the new wave of British heavy metal. You had the birth of thrash metal, speed metal, all these variations of metal, the birth of death metal. All of these happened in the 80s. And there were so many genres that came into public awareness. New wave, new romantic, punk really made it to the forefront, post-punk, rap. All these genres really blossomed and grew and became popular in the 80s. And like I said, with things like MTV and whatnot, and it was when schools, you started to see cliques and groups in school. You know, it's like, oh, those are the punk guys, you know, those are the punk rockers, those are the metalheads, you know, those are the new wave, you know, new wave crowd, you know, those people are into pop, you know, whatever the case may be. So, you know, the 80s was just such a defining decade for music as a whole. So, with that, here's the thread. Show 10 albums, 10 LPs, okay? One for each year, starting with 1980 and going up to 1989. One album per year. That is your personal favorite album for that year, okay? It doesn't have to be, you know, what was the number one album that year. What was your favorite album that was released that year, okay? So, and you know, we'll talk about them a little bit if you want. So 10 LPs, vinyl only. Let's keep this only to vinyl. So, you know, one of the reasons for this is to kind of make you go dig in your collection, you know, and kind of rediscover. You may think, you know, oh, hey, Quiet Riot, Metal Health, 1983, and then you go to pull it and it's like, oh, that's 1984, or whatever the case may be, you know. So it'll kind of refamiliarize yourself also, and maybe kind of make you pull some albums that you haven't pulled for a while. So anyway, that's the thread. I hope I get some responses. You know, I've never tried this before, so And there's not a whole lot of threads going right now, so I thought it might be a good time to try one out. So looking forward to the responses, and as usual, stay in the groove. Bye.